We're on the phone today with the one and only James J.Y. Young, guitar player for the band Styx. They have a show coming up at the Mayo Civic Center. It was scheduled in May, but it's been postponed and now will be rescheduled to 2023. Hey, James, how you doing?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure.
Well, first, it is the 50th anniversary for the band Styx. Does it seem like it's been 50 years for you?
Well, we've been having so much fun. It's all a blur, and I intend to be the oldest man on the planet, even though I'm in my early 70s now, and we were in our early 20s when we signed the recording contract. I was anyway, and I don't know. We've had such great, it's numerous different incarnations and lots of stumbling blocks along the way, but good, tremendous success and. Over the years, and we're out on the road here in the near term and going to have a big summer tour, and we're going to actually be, obviously, in Rochester here. I love playing live concerts on stage, and so it keeps me young. It's fountain of youth for me, and I'm having a blast.
Awesome. Yeah, and you mentioned you'll be here in Minnesota at the Mayo Civic Center in Rochester. That's got to be great for you to get back on the road and, get back to business after all the stuff that's been going on.
Yeah, my mother-in-law was born in a little town called Tyler up there by Lake Benton and Marshall and things like that.
Okay.
And so I visited. I got my wife's got lots of cousins up there, so we've done a lot of hanging out in your neck of the woods there. And so I'm sure there's going to be a horde of Danes coming down from the north for the show.
Excellent. Yeah, it should be a great time. And you mentioned the rest of the summer you're going to be out on the road. REO Speedwagon and Loverboy. I know you've played with those guys a lot in the past as well.
REO a lot, and Loverboy, we've done a number of shows with them as well. So having done roughly 100 shows for the last 20 years per year, 100 shows a year, we've done a lot of shows in a lot of places with a lot of different people.
Well, and speaking of people, it's got to be great for you to look out in the crowd and, see all the generations of fans, your music has had an impact on. I imagine the crowd makeup has to be fans from, back in the early days all the way up to maybe their grandkids now.
It's a humbling thing. I mean, we're creative people, and we're creating to sort of please ourselves on one level and creating to entertain and please others, but I'm sort of humbled by just how large our audience has grown and how successful it looks like this upcoming year is going to be for us. Obviously, with the advent of the digitization of music, people aren't buying records in the same way they used to, but we've had done very well as a recording act and done very well as a concert act, and the camaraderie myself and Tommy Shaw and the rest of the guys have is just it's a blessing in my life, and we're really excited every time we get on that stage.
And I know you recently had a new album out too, Crash of the Crown. Can you tell the listeners a bit about the new album, maybe if they haven't discovered it yet?
Well, the Crash of the Crown was made actually during the pandemic. We said, well, we can't play shows, so let's sit around and let's make a new record. And it got to number one on the rock charts sales wise early on. Nobody's selling that many records anymore, but the Crash of the Crown is, I guess it's kind of all about the rise and fall of any and all who have a rise, because they're probably going to have a fall afterwards. It's I'm pretty sure. And we've had our ups and downs, so we know what it's all about.
Well, James, what's the writing and the recording process like for you these days? Because you've been making music a long time, and you've been with Chuck and Tommy for most of that run. Has the dynamic or the process changed much for you over the years?
Well, the process is a little bit different now because Tommy's kind of become the alpha dog in terms of writing, and he's got a recording studio set up in his basement in his new home in Nashville, and he's one of his collaborators when he was not with Styx is a fellow Willa Vankovich, who he met when he was in Damn Yankees with Nugent and Jack Blades. was from the Bay Area, and Tommy's moved him down to Nashville, and now Will's on stage with us as well, and Will engineered the last record and is credited as producer on it. So when it came time to make the Crash of the Crown, Tommy called me up and said, I need you to play some guitar and do some singing down here. And but those guys had pretty much written the record along with Lawrence Gowan without any assistance from me. I'm a little bit involved in it, but much more so those guys. And so it's a little bit different, but you still have to know how to play your instrument and know how to sing and how to put things together. And I don't know, we had a blast making the record, and it's become a lot easier than it used to be in some ways, because you can, you have those giant reels of recording tape. We're not dealing with those. We're dealing with hard drives now. And some stuff we used to go in and do like analog basic tracks on tape, because there's a certain way that captures the recording of drums and some other things that analog is always going to be superior to digital in terms of just there's more humanity. Digital can sound a little less human, but I don't know. Everybody's used to hearing digital now, so I don't think it really matters much. And so actually, yeah, we're wise enough to employ reliable technology, and we'll be going forward doing the same kind of thing in the future.
Excellent. Yeah, that's great. You know, with the music you've released over the years and so many songs that have become, part of so many people's lives, it'd be easy for you guys to just go out and, continue to play the hits, but, you're still out there making music and new albums, and they're entering the charts, and that's great that you guys are still keeping it going after all these years.
Well, I have to say that Tommy Shaw has kind of taken over being the lead writer, and Lawrence Gowan is kind of right there at his side, and Will has been collaborating with those two guys. And I got my 2 cents in here and there, but the pandemic, I kind of thought it was going to be the end of everything, and I'm older than them, so I don't know. It's I'm the only guy that's been here from the beginning that's on the stage. I mean, Chuck has been part of it, but he's missed a lot of shows through illness and different things. But he's probably will be there when we play Mankato, and Rochester we're playing. That's right. And so I don't know. I'm having a blast. Love what I do, and to get paid as a musician and as an artist is a true gift from higher up. It's a humbling. I'm humbled by our success, and I'm having a whole lot of fun with it.
Awesome. And again, Styx will be coming to Rochester at the Mayo Civic Center. James, I got to ask you, I'm sure you get this question a lot, but why is Styx not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Does that bother you, or does that mean anything to you at all?
Well, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was a certain group of people in the Northeast sort of got together and put it together, and I've talked to a number of them, and there's sort of a Northeast bias, maybe with a little bit of LA bias thrown in there, but those two cities kind of control who gets nominated and who gets there, and for that simple reason, I'm not holding my breath. I mean, to me, it's nice to have that honor, but this is the opinion of a limited group of people sitting in two particular places geographically, and then sort of the Midwest and to many degrees the South and the Northwest are sort of neglected in this whole thing. But I'm glad that there is a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I would be delighted to get in there. I'm just it's not that important to me. If we're inducted, I'll be there. But the important thing to me is that there's millions of fans that are familiar with our music and love our music, and people will tell me that your music changed my life, your music saved my life, and no trophy or award can replace those kinds of feelings that I have for what we've created. So it's not keeping me awake at night, believe me. I'm still having a great time.
Well, and I think just the fact that you guys are still out there doing it and pulling the crowds that you are and still making new music, and I mean, that makes all the difference, means way more than a plaque someplace, I'm sure. So that's great that you have that kind of outlook on things.
I've got a lot of gold albums hanging on my wall, a lot of platinum albums hanging on my wall, and double and triple and quadruple platinums for some. And then those are nice, but my better half sort of doesn't want to see too many of them, and she wants to decorate the house, and those albums aren't necessarily going to be part of how we decorate our living space. Put them down in your studio.
Yeah, that's even big time guitar gods have somebody else to answer to at home, so it puts things into perspective.
More than one person that I have to answer to. So I've learned diplomacy in my advanced middle age. And that's probably the greatest gift I've been given recently.
Excellent. Well, again, you got the new album out, Crash of the Crown. Is there anything else maybe we should be looking out for? Any other projects or something else coming up?
You know, right now, I don't really, I don't know that we have anything else. I mean, obviously we're writing more music for the future, and future projects, what have you. But, you know, we're still just bringing the Crash of the Crown to people's attention. And it's harder and harder for an act and a classic rock act like Styx to get any serious airplay in major market radio. I mean, guys like you, we are blessed to have you, where you have the choices to to some degree, I presume, put what you want on your station, and
sure.
And if you don't get ratings, that you may lose that privilege. But I mean, it's you know, we're in the music business, so I you know, I've succeeded beyond my wildest dreams, and I think we deserve to be there with some of the big guys. And if we get there, it'll be great. If we don't, not the end of the world. And then we're continue to write, continue to create, because that's the kind of people we are. And we've lost a few members along the way, but Todd Zuckerman, our drummer for the last couple of decades, God bless and God rest the soul of John Panazzo, who was our original drummer. Todd might be the best rock drummer on the planet right now, and he's got an awful lot of accolades to attest to that. And Lawrence Gowan, who was a Canadian superstar, never quite really broke through here on his own, but as a member of Styx, he's just an astounding addition, and an incredible keyboard player, incredible singer and showman. Ricky Phillips has been in the Babies and Bad English and Coverdale Page, worked with Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin, and Ricky's our bass player now. Chuck Panazzo comes out from time to time, not at every show, but and then Tommy Shaw is there at my side, and Will, our new collaborator, is on stage with us as well, playing guitar and singing backup. So we've got a great solid thing going now, and we're very excited about coming to the great state of Minnesota and rocking it out.
Excellent. James, it's been an honor speaking with you. I'm a huge fan, as most people are, and thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Take care.
And again, that was James Young, founder, guitar player for the band Styx. Styx has a show coming up at the Mayo Civic Center in Rochester. Again, originally they were scheduled to play in May, but now that has been postponed and will be made up in 2023.